What's up guys, my name is Angelo and today I want to discuss a question I get all the time, and that is how to pick the right loan originators on the largest peer-to-peer lending marketplace in Europe, Mintos. Also, I want to show you what my Auto Invest looks like right now. I simplified it a lot lately and I hope it can serve as a somewhat useful reference for you. So in this video we're going to talk about why you need a predefined strategy on Mintos so that a large chunk of your money doesn't end up in one loan originator, how I myself struggled with this as well in the past, which is also why I haven't really felt comfortable with sharing my Auto Invest settings with you, as I was simply changing them all the time. The reasons why I'm not a fan of the Auto Invest strategies that Mintos offers by default, how I choose what loan originators to invest in and which ones to avoid, and lastly, my Auto Invest settings in detail. As usual, don't forget to hit the like button if you want to see more videos like this, and if you'd like to support me, feel free to use the link in the description below to check out Mintos for yourself. Also, a quick disclaimer, these are simply my own settings, and the way I look at investing on Mintos, you're of course free to do things differently. Alright, so why do we need a strategy in the first place? Well, there are a few things we want to achieve. First of all, of course, we want to see solid returns, but those returns should be adequate for the risk we are taking. For example, taking on more risk to invest our money into loans from a loan originator with a weak rating at, let's say, 14% interest per year might not be worth it if there are loans available from a loan originator with a good rating and audited financial statements at 13% interest per year. Secondly, we want to be diversified over a large number of loans from many different loan originators in several countries to try and reduce our risk in case there is a problem in one specific country or with one loan originator. Then, to achieve a certain degree of diversification, we want to make sure that we don't allocate more than 10 to 15% of our portfolio to one single loan originator. And lastly, we don't want to spend our valuable time buying loans manually, but instead let the Auto Invest do it automatically for us. So now that you know why having a strategy on Mintos is important, let me tell you how I struggled with this in the past. I've changed my Auto Invest settings a lot on Mintos over the past 2 years, which is also why I haven't talked about them too often compared to all the other platforms. I started with a single Auto Invest back in 2018 and then started adding another as I realized the first one wasn't grabbing the highest interest loans that were available by each loan originator. Inevitably, I then ended up having many different Auto Invests, each with different diversification settings and interest rates. As a result, in 2019, I ended up with too high of a percentage in a single loan originator, Capital Service, which is a Polish loan originator which is currently facing difficulties and where my funds are in recovery at the moment. Then for a few months I switched to a strategy where I set up single individual Auto Invests for each loan originator, which was way too much effort. Also, one problem with these changes was that I was never starting from zero. I was always almost fully invested already into other loans when I was adding another strategy. And the problem with that is that while you're able to look at your portfolio to find out exactly how your money is invested, there is no global setting that you can set up throughout all the Auto Invests to make sure you limit your exposure to each loan originator. Sadly, every Auto Invest is treated as its own portfolio, making diversification way harder than it should be, especially if you're after the highest interest rates that each loan originator offers on the platform. Alright, next let's take a look at the predefined Auto Invest strategies that Mintos offers, and then we're going to be taking a look at how I choose the loan originators to invest in and which ones to avoid, and my detailed Auto Invest settings right now. Let's take a look at the investment strategies that Mintos offers. When we click on Invest and Add Strategy, you will find these 3 pre-made strategies by Mintos, in addition to the custom strategy, which in my opinion is the better way to go. To me, these 3 have some major issues, and here they are. With these 3 strategies, we are unable to choose the loan originators we want to buy loans from and exclude the ones we don't want to invest in. We also can define how much percentage-wise we want to invest into each. They also don't allow you to set a minimum interest rate of, let's say, 11% per year. So you could also be buying loans with, for example, a 6% interest rate, which you likely would never buy otherwise. In addition, there is no way to set a maximum loan duration we're comfortable with. So you could be investing into loans with loan durations of 6 years, for example. And lastly, even in the high yield strategy, Mintos is only saying that it's going to invest into the top 60% interest rate loans on the platform, which doesn't really mean much. They're still not promising that the strategy will actually buy the highest interest rate loans available for each loan originator. So if you're anything like me and you prefer having more control over your investments, we're gonna go with a custom strategy. And we're gonna go with automated, which in this case still means that we'll be able to change the interest rate, the long term, and choose the loan originators that we want to invest in. And to make things simple, I'm gonna set up my Auto Invest again from scratch. Even though I already set it up here, I'm gonna show you from scratch how I set it up with my settings, that doesn't mean that they're the best settings or whatever, so you can still change things around however you see fit. Alright, now that we're setting up our auto invest, we need to first decide the loans and loan originators we want to invest in. And while Mintos has its own rating system, I prefer using the one on Explore P2P, which they keep relatively up to date as well. And here from this list, I decided to invest into loan originators with a minimum total score of 53. So none that are below. Of course, you can choose to only invest into loan originators with a much higher score, but personally I wanted to have a bit more diversification and have more loans available. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna remove all the loans without the buyback guarantee. Then to make things a bit easier, we're gonna remove the loans with C ratings. And now one by one, we're gonna go through the remaining loan originators and just keep the ones that we have on our list here. And now that we did that, here's what our list looks like right now. The only exception we're going to do is we're also going to remove Everest Finance, which is a loan originator that only offers loans in Poland, and those have been a bit more problematic over the past couple of years, so I'm going to exclude that one. And by the way, in case you're wondering, Revo Technology, you can see it as Mocha here. Personally, I'm going with a minimum interest rate of 11% to get a good balance of available loans from different loan originators and a good reward for the risks that I'm taking with my investment. And as far as the loan term goes, I'm going to set a minimum of 1 month up to a maximum of 48 months, meaning 4 years. Alright, and now we have to give our auto invest a random name. I'm just going to call this one auto invest, and we're going to have to set a portfolio size. So if you just have one auto invest set up, then try to make that higher than the amount you have on Mintos so that it automatically reinvests the money you receive back from the loans if you want that. So let's say we have 5,000 euro we want to invest on Mintos, for example. So we're gonna set like 5,500 euros. So it automatically reinvests the funds that come back. And then over time, you can increase the portfolio size. Then as a minimum investment per loan, we're gonna choose 10 euro, which is the minimum for the primary market. And as far as the maximum goes, I like to make that dependent on the amount that I'm investing. So let's say if I'm a new investor and I'm investing 1,000 euro, I want to be spread out over at least 100 loans, which means the maximum would also be 10 euros then if I'm investing 1,000 euros. If, however, I'm investing 5,000 euros, then I'm going to make the maximum 50 euro. That way I'm still spread out over at least 100 different loans. And then we're going to diversify across loan originators, and I'm going to show you my settings. For me, I decided that I'm willing to invest a maximum of 15% of my portfolio into loan originators with a rating of 62 points plus, and a maximum of 10% with loan originators with a rating of 59 down to 53 in this case. All right, now that we entered these, when you go up, you're gonna see that the total is 300%, which of course doesn't make much sense. However, you have to understand that the only thing we're trying to achieve here is to limit our maximum exposure to each loan originator to 10 or 15%. Now we're gonna hit save. So with our criteria, we will be able to invest into 44,000 different loans from 12 different loan originators. If you increase the minimum interest rate, that means you're also gonna decrease the diversification by having less loans available to you and less loan originators available. And that's why I set the minimum to 11%, as I think it strikes a relatively good balance. And now we're done, so we're gonna click save and activate. There you go. Now we created our new strategy, and of course, if it's your primary strategy, you could give it the top priority. However, I already created one with the same settings, so I'm gonna delete the one that we just created, where I just wanted to show you how I set it up. Alright, that's it. I hope the video was helpful for you. I will now start working on my monthly income update for September, which should be online in a couple of days. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe if you'd like to see more. Also, if you'd like to support me and check out Mintos for yourself, feel free to use the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and until next time.